Do you know how much a waiter makes in tips in just one single night? Not per month, not per year, one shift. Some servers whisper about $500 Fridays, others walk out with $12 and sore feet. So which one is the truth? Today, we're opening the little black checkbook and counting what's really inside. Real government numbers, real server confessions, real psychology tricks. And one number so absurd you won't believe it's legal. Fair warning, after this video, you'll never sign a restaurant check the same way again. Because in America, the menu prices the food, but the customer prices the waiter. Let's get into it. Friday night, 7 p.m. Anywhere, America, every table full. A 30-minute wait at the door. And weaving through it all the waiter. Balancing plates, remembering orders, smiling on command. At the end of your meal, you do the ritual squint at the total. Do the math. 18, 20, scribble a number. Walk away. Never think about it again. But that scribbled number? That's not a bonus. Here's the thing nobody tells you. That number is the waiter's actual salary. The restaurant isn't really paying him. You are, one table at a time. And the number that proves it is so strange, it sounds like a typo. Ready? Here it is. $2.13 per hour. That is the federal minimum wage for tipped workers. Not in 1950. Today, and here's the part that breaks people's brains, that number hasn't changed since 1991 gas was $1.14. Stamps were 29 cents. Everything got more expensive, except the waiter's base wage. 35 years. Frozen. Now before you grab a pitchfork, there's a catch. The law says tips must lift every server to at least the regular minimum wage, $7.25. If tips fall short, the restaurant must pay the difference. That gap between $2.13 and $7.25 is called the tip credit. $5.12 of the waiter's wage legally outsourced to you. 7 states said no to this entire system. California, Oregon, Washington, full minimum wage plus tips. Everywhere else? The tip line is the paycheck. How did America even end up here? Tipping wasn't born American. It was imported. Rich travelers copied it from European aristocrats in the 1800s. Ordinary Americans hated it at first. Several states even tried banning tips entirely. But after the Civil War, the practice found a purpose, a dark one. Industries used tips to avoid paying wages at all, especially to newly freed black workers. Pullman train porters lived almost entirely on passenger tips. The tip wasn't a thank you. It was the entire wage. Sound familiar? That structure never fully left. The $2.13 wage is that history with a POS system. So the question you clicked for, what lands in the pocket? Let's stack the real numbers, smallest to largest. A slow Tuesday at a small-town diner, maybe $20 to $40 in tips. A busy weekend at a casual chain restaurant, $100 to $200 a night. Industry sources call $100 a night the classic benchmark. Fine dining on a Saturday? Now we're talking. $200 to $500, sometimes more. And casino cocktail servers on a hot weekend? Some report clearing $1,000 in a few nights. Same job title. A 10x difference in pay. Why? Hold that question. It's the key to everything. Government data backs up the middle of this range. The median American server earns about $16 an hour wage and tips combined. The bottom 10%? Under $9. The top earners? $29 an hour and beyond. And here's the stat that defines this entire profession. Roughly 60% of a server's income is tips, which means the biggest part of the paycheck is decided nightly by strangers in a mood. So let's live one of those nights. Meet Sarah. Suburban steakhouse, 5 years of experience, 4 p.m. clock in. Base wage, $2.13 first hour, rolling silverware, filling ice, wiping menus. This is side work. It pays exactly $2.13. No tables, no tips, just prep. 5:30. First families trickle in. Sarah gets a section, 5 tables, her territory. Here's the first rule of tip economics. You can only earn from tables you're given. A bad section near the bathroom? Smaller checks, slower turns. The host stand quietly controls every server's income. Watch Sarah work table 9. This is a masterclass. Sparkling or still? Can I start you with appetizers? You have to save room for the lava cake. This is upselling, and it's pure self-interest, the good kind. Every dollar added to the check adds 20 cents to her tip. A $40 dessert round across her section? That's $8 extra for 90 seconds of charm. The best servers aren't order takers. They're commissioned salespeople. 6:30. The rush hits. Every table full. Drinks, orders, refills, checks all at once. Servers call this being in the weeds. Table 12. A birthday party of 8. Big parties mean big checks and automatic gratuity. 18% added by the house, guaranteed. Table 7, a couple on a first date. He's showing off. That usually means 25%. Table 3, the campers. Finished eating an hour ago. Still sitting, still chatting. Campers are silent income killers. A table that doesn't turn is a register that doesn't ring. Sarah can serve maybe 4 seatings per table per night. 5 tables, 4 turns, 20 checks. That's the whole game. Table 15, 6 coworkers splitting the check 6 ways. 3 cards, 2 apps, 1 guy only has a 50. 10 minutes of accounting. For 1 table. 9 p.m. The rush fades. Feet throb. 10 p.m. last table paid. Now the count. Cash tips, card tips, the autograt from table 12. Tonight's total, $240. 6 hours of tables, $40 an hour. Incredible, right? Wrong, because now comes the part customers never see. It's called the tip out. Sarah didn't serve those tables alone. The busser cleared. The bartender poured. The runner carried. So at night's end, she pays them a cut. Standard tip out, 2 to 5% of her sales. Read that carefully. Of sales, not of tips. Sarah sold $2,000 of food tonight. 3% tip out, $60. Gone. And here's the nightmare scenario every server dreads. A big table that walks without tipping. Sarah still owes tip out on their bill. Yes, a bad table can cost the waiter money. She literally paid to serve them. Some restaurants even deduct card processing fees from tips. So Sarah's real take, $180. Still a strong night, but 30% quieter than it looked. Oh, and some restaurants pool everything. Every tip goes into one pot, split by hours worked. Great for slow sections. Infuriating for star sellers. Pooling smooths the luck and dilutes the hustle. Cash or card matters too. Cash goes home tonight. Card tips wait for payday. Ask any server their favorite 4 words. Keep the change, honey. Now remember that 10x pay gap? Here's the answer. Tips are a percentage of the check. 20% of a $40 diner check, $8 20% of a $400 steakhouse check, 80. Same smile, same steps. 10 times the pay. In America, you're not tipped for your effort. You're tipped for your menu's prices. This is why servers fight for fine dining jobs and why the best shifts are guarded like treasure. Friday and Saturday dinners can out-earn an entire week of lunches. Seniority decides who gets them in serving. You don't climb a corporate ladder. You climb the schedule. Okay, now for the fun part. The mind games. Because researchers have studied tipping for decades, and servers can legally nudge your generosity. Cornell University runs the famous research here. Trick 1. The introduction. Servers who give their name earn measurably bigger tips. A name turns a servant into a person. Trick 2. Crouching at the table. Eye level feels like friendship. Friendship pays. Trick 3. Repeating the order back word for word. Mimicry builds trust. Trust shows up on the tip line. Trick 4. The candy drop. A mint with a check reliably bumps tips up. Reciprocity. Tiny gift in, bigger gift out. Trick 5. The smiley face. A thank you note on the check nudges guests to give. And trick 6. The weather forecast. Servers who mention good weather coming get better tips. Happy brains are generous brains. Bonus finds from the research files. Waitresses wearing red reported measurably higher tips from men. A light touch on the shoulder also raises tips. Humans are wonderfully, predictably simple. None of this is cheating. It's hospitality with a measurable conversion rate. One server's smile is another company's marketing department. So who actually tips, and how much? America has the strongest tipping culture on Earth. 9 in 10 Americans tip 16 to 20%. 20% is the unwritten law of full service. Takeout? That drops to about 14%. And 1 in 5 customers won't tip for pickup at all. The rule hiding in that data, the more human interaction, the bigger the tip. People don't tip food. They tip faces. Then there's the new phenomenon, Tipflation. Screens now ask for tips everywhere, even self-checkout. Customers are tired. And guess who absorbs the backlash? The full-service waiter, the one who earned it first. Quick detour. How do other tip jobs compare? Bartenders often out-earn servers on the same night, faster transactions, captive seats, and $1 a drink culture. Delivery drivers average the highest tip percentage of all, around 30%, when they hand food over in person. Baristas? Mostly counting on the counter jar. Same economy. Same rule everywhere. FaceTime converts to tip money. And here's the wild part. This is almost uniquely American. In Japan, tipping can actually offend. In most of Europe, service is baked into the bill. An American server abroad would be stunned. The wage is just the wage. Only in America is dinner a nightly salary negotiation. Now, the forces a server can't control. Weather, a snowstorm empties the dining room. Empty tables mean a 213 night, but sunshine flips the script, patio season. More seats, longer lingering, bigger bar tabs. Sports, a big game floods the bar then freezes it. Nobody orders during the fourth quarter. Holidays, Mother's Day is the Super Bowl of serving. Valentine's Day, huge checks, generous couples, chaos in the kitchen. And the first of the month always beats the last. Payday crowds tip like kings. And Sunday brunch? A famous mixed bag. Packed rooms, smaller checks, coffee refills forever. Servers joke the after-church crowd prays harder than it tips. Then, the human variables. Regulars, the backbone. Predictable, loyal, generous, a good regular is a private pension plan. And the stiff the table that leaves zero. Every server has a stiff story. Every single one. 20 tables of kindness. 1 stiff. Guess which one they remember. And every server carries legends to the golden tables. The $100 bill from a stranger who used to serve. Former servers are famously the best tippers alive. Once you've carried the tray, you never forget its weight. Thinking you could do this job for a summer? Plenty try. The first week is a shock. Memorize the menu. Carry 4 plates. Absorb complaints. Smile. Veterans make it look easy. The paycheck explains the patience. Which brings us to the heavier truth. For all the good nights, tipped work is fragile. Tipped workers face double the poverty rate of other workers. Nearly half rely on some form of public assistance. Income whiplash is the real tax. $300 on Saturday, $11 on Monday. Rent doesn't care which one repeats. And yes, tips are taxable income. Card tips are reported automatically. Cash is on your honor. One more uncomfortable stat. In one federal sweep, over 80% of full-service restaurants had violated wage rules for tipped workers. Miscounted hours. Skimmed tips. Illegal deductions. K. The body pays a tax too. Servers walk 3 to 5 miles per shift, carrying, bending, smiling for 6 straight hours. Then there's the double. Lunch and dinner, same day. Close at midnight, open at 9. Servers call it clopening. Restaurant turnover is among the highest of any industry. The tips are real. So is the burnout. One more twist, a brand new one. In 2025, Washington changed the tax rules. Tips became federally income tax-free up to $25,000 a year. For a full-time server, that's real money staying home. Whether it outlives the political season, nobody knows. So let's total the night and the year A slow shift, $20 to $40. A solid casual restaurant night, $100 to $200. A fine dining Saturday, $200 to $500. Across a year, the median lands around $34,000. Top servers in top rooms, 60, 70,000, sometimes more. The difference isn't effort. It's the room, the shift, the prices. A waiter's career is real estate with an apron. So no, there's no single answer. There's a spectrum. The room decides the ceiling. The night decides the floor. And the customer decides everything in between. So the next time the check lands on your table and your pen hovers between 18 and 20, remember what that line really is. It's not a thank you note. It's a paycheck written by hand, one stranger at a time. Because in America, the kitchen prices the food, but the customer prices the waiter. If tonight changed your tip math, subscribe, because next time we're counting someone else's till.